Good Monday morning. Hope you got that Christmas shopping done. The days are ticking off. Only a few more days, and the big day will be upon us. In the meantime, let's continue to look at this 49th Psalm. Again, an Ecclesiastes like psalm that talks about, reminds us to not be so concerned about the wealthy and the evil and the people around us. As far as when I say don't be concerned, don't let that distract us from our purpose, and that is to remember that even the wealthy, their life is short. And that all the wealth in the world won't buy you one more day on this earth. And so the psalmist is giving us those reminders. We're going to be picking up in verse 13, when he really kind of sums it up here, his opinion of the wicked, the wealthy, anybody who is counting on anything other than God. When he says, this their way is their folly. Yet their posterity approve their sayings. And so as we look at these three verses we're going to be covering this morning, they again are simply reminding us over and over again that we keep the right perspective when it comes to I like the word stuff. Some people don't, but I like the words just that we keep the right perspective when it comes to stuff, whether that stuff is money or possessions. Again, nothing wrong with those things, but having the right perspective is what the psalmist is stressing in this psalm, and he is pointing us. He's going to talk about here about the end for the self-sufficient and the righteous, those who again some have plenty, and their life here may be easier. They may have a lot of the world's uh, the world's. I'm thinking of the word, the nice things, the splendors of this world, but the righteous man actually has the best reward. And unfortunately, a lot of folks who are very wealthy and who have a lot of things, they never learn that. They never realize, they think that because they have all their earthly needs, that they have no need for God, and that their way, as the psalmist says here, is their folly. Because they have all these things, they never realize it, they never look beyond this world. And because of that, the psalmist says it is their folly, and their footsteps, their pathway, their posterity. It says as they continue to leave after those who follow them, their children, follow in the same footsteps many times. And so the psalmist is very concerned about our outlook and our opinion of the wealth and the riches of this world, and so. As we look in continue to look, and we look in verse 14, he says that they are like sheep, they are laid in the grave, death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. Honestly, a little bit of a dark verse there, as he describes the end of those who count on their wealth and on their riches. Again, it says like sheep. they're laid in the grave. Again, he compares compares man to animals. What he's saying is, again, just like an animal, man dies. Millionaires and paupers alike, their days are numbered. He says death will feed on them. That day comes, just like a shepherd will have to bury his flock. Man eventually will be taken by death. The wealthiest, death will swallow them up and swallow up their possessions and swallow up their all their things that they have amassed, all the items that they have gathered up. And he says, and the upright will have dominion over them in the morning. Simply what he's saying is the day is coming when man will not be, we are arranged, whether you like it, whether we want to admit it or not, we are largely arranged in this world, in this life, by stuff. We are lined up and grouped many times by that. But what he says here is that in the day is coming when that wealthy man, the man with all the possessions, he will have he won't have any standing over the poor righteous man. It says that their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. Again, it's a very brutal passage, but he's saying that their beauty, they're going to decay, they're going to be buried, and their physical beauty will decay. As we make that statement, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, the day will come when even the wealthiest will be put into a grave. But then he reminds us here, verse 15, and he starts this verse with an important word when he says, "But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me." And so the psalmist makes a great statement that I hope everyone that's listening to me this morning can make as well. I hope you are like this other group and you have all the wealth and riches and things that you want. But like verse 15, the most important thing is to have our relationship with God straight. Do we have it right so that our soul be redeemed, as it says in verse 15, and he receives us. And so, again, there's, as I said yesterday, or day before, I guess, when we started into this psalm, like Ecclesiastes, that this psalm gives us the reality that riches and wealth are not enough, but it gives us hope in this statement that he says God will redeem his soul. And so there's I heard somebody say one time, said there's really only two groups of people in this world: those that know the Lord and those that don't. We divide up in a lot more groups, but the truth is that's the only two groups: those that know the Lord and those that don't. And that's the two groups that this psalm has been describing. Those that have the Lord and those that don't, those that are wicked and those that are not. And so what the psalmist, I think, is pointing us to and trying to get us to understand, and again, to keep the right perspective, that there's nothing wrong with money and things and possessions, but that we understand that the most important is our relationship with the Lord, and that all the money that we could ever possibly amass without a personal personal relationship with Jesus Christ, we will hear him say, you'll hear him say, "Depart from me, you workers of iniquity, for I never knew you." He's not going to ask you how big your bank account is or how much stuff you have stored up, but he's going to ask us about the only thing that will matter in that day is our relationship with Jesus Christ. And so today, I hope that encourages. I think probably most of my audience here, you do know Christ as your Savior. And I know how easy it is sometimes to get discouraged and to get down and out and to look around and see the world having so many things that many times a righteous man doesn't have and can't afford, having stuff and having money. But the psalmist here reminds us that there's a great reckoning coming, and all that money and all those things won't buy you one day in heaven, won't buy you 1 hour or one moment in heaven. It's your relationship with Jesus Christ. And so keep your perspective, keep your eyes on him. Nothing wrong with money, nothing wrong with building it up, saving, having things. But as the New Testament says to us, what would it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? All right, you have a good day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow as we finish out this psalm.